In 11.4, we're looking at our geometric sequence recursive rule. So once again, you want to make sure you have this formula down. If A1 is our first term, then A sub n equals R times n minus 1. In words, so A1 is our first term, A sub n equals the common ratio times our previous term. So using the first term and the common ratio, write the explicit formula and the recursive formula. So I'm going to divide this in half again. And here is our explicit side. Here is our recursive. So our explicit formula, remember we saw in 11.2, is A sub n equals A sub 1 times R to the n minus 1. So we plug in -3 for our first term, 4 for our common ratio to the n minus 1 power. So there is our explicit formula. Our recursive formula is A sub n equals R times A sub n minus 1 if A sub n, or if A sub 1 equals your first term. So A sub n equals 4 times A sub n minus 1 if A sub 1 equals -3. Now, just a reminder, you absolutely have to have that if A sub 1 equals -3 part. Okay, so similar problem. However, now we're given a sequence, so we have to find the common ratio ourselves and the first term. So going from -3 to 6, that's multiplying by -2, 6 to -12, multiplying by -2, and -12 to -4, 24, multiplying by -2. So our first term is -3, and our ratio is -2. So explicit and recursive. So our explicit formula, A sub n equals A sub 1 times R to the n minus 1. So you should get A sub n equals -3 times -2 to the n minus 1. Our recursive formula, A sub n equals R times your previous term if A sub 1 equals your first term. So you get A sub n equals -2 times your previous term, so that's A sub n minus 1, if A sub 1 equals -3. All right. Using the first term and common ratio, write the recursive rule for the geometric sequence and find the first 4 terms. So this time we just have to find that recursive rule. So our recursive rule, A sub n equals 5 times your previous term, A sub n minus 1, if A sub 1 equals negative 1. So we already know what that first term is. So I make a list over here of my first 5 terms. Just so I can keep track of them. We already know that our first term is negative 1. So to find our second term, we're going to take that first term and plug it in for a sub n minus 1. So 5 times negative 1 means a sub 2 is negative 5. So when we're finding our third term, a sub 3, we're going to take our previous term, that negative 5, and plug it in. So 5 times negative 5. So a sub 3 equals negative 25. Right? So find the fourth term. So for the fourth term, we take our common ratio, 5, and we multiply it by negative 25. And we should get negative 125. And then our fifth term. So you take your common ratio, 5, and you multiply it by your fourth term, negative 125. We get, for our fifth term, negative 625.